Hello, YouTube and X. It's your main man, BTM here, bringing you back to the BTM Crypto News Network. So thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and super chat to your main man, BTM. I'm just trying to keep the lights on here on the BTM Crypto News Network, guys. Just trying to keep it pushing. But thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, the Vegas XRP conference starts tomorrow. I had my days mixed up. I thought it was today, but it is actually tomorrow. So it is about to go down in Vegas. And what is it? Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But yeah, I wish I could make it, but I'm actually had another obligation, so I cannot make it out there. But it is about to go down in the city of Sin. Things are gonna get crazy. Um, what up, Christopher Paul, Gulfport, Mississippi? Actually, I got a friend from Gulfport, actually. But thanks for joining. And let's play a couple shorts real quick and then we'll get to business. But XRP Vegas is starting. So, what's going on, ZBCN fam? Tap the like button on the way in because we have a good one today. We're officially in the 24 final hour countdown before XRP Vegas kicks off. And Zebec is stepping into one of the loudest payments focused crypto room in the entire space. So let me know what you guys think about that. Today's title is not soft, it's not sleepy. It is not maybe Zebec might possibly do something if Mercury is in retrograde. No, today we're talking about ZBCN holders have 24 hours. XRP Vegas starts tomorrow. The ZBCN, the Zebec SuperApp mobile momentum is heating up. So let's go to a couple of shorts real quick. And let me check. Actually, let me check real quick, see if there is a new one real quick, and then we'll get to what we have. Let me double check. See, is there any new updates? It seems like somebody would have posted something. But if not, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. That is weird. There's nobody's talking about ZBCN the day before the XRP Vegas. I was expecting a lot more momentum here. I don't know what's going on or what's really happening. Just looking for a short real quick, and I don't see any. Let me update this filter and we'll get started on what we have so far. Let me see. Is there anything coming today? Actually, pretty quiet considering the XRP Vegas starts soon. Let me see here. Okay, I got a couple. Let me add these real quick just to be on the safe side. Okay, so add a couple more. So we will start with the screen share. Sorry about that, folks. So let's get to it. So this is I'm tripping. I'm not even screen sharing. Hold on one second. So what up, Peter? What's going on with your fam? Buy more. May buy some more at the 003. You think it's going down to the 003? Here we go with the screen share real quick. I mean, shorts real quick. Be right back.
Be on stage together, Brad Garley House. And then we mentioned this as well, and I mentioned it in one of my shorts, that the itinerary shows that Brad Garley House is going to speak. And then right after him, he's going to hand that baton off to Simon Babakani. And then there's an hour break. What is it that is so massive that they're going to give the crypto community an hour to let it marinate, to let it sit with you, to let that chart just blow through the roof? Guys, we've been bringing you, and I've been bringing you content on ZBCN now for a few years. And the reason I do that is because I see it as an opportunity in my research, and I want as many people to take advantage. And that's not financial advice. I want you to take advantage of plays like ZBCN, XRP, Stronghold. I'm about to show you something from that as well. And Quant, and just so many others, because I believe that this is that digital transformation, that whole shift in the way the world does business. There's so many people. It's going to bless you. This is going to bless you. Many of the assets that we talk about is going to bless you.
So shout out to Grow Rich, Grow Happy. Next is crypto. What is this? Meow analysis? I don't know, but shoot, run him real quick. Be right back.
A look at Zebec Network on, I was about to say protocol, but it's Zebec Network on the live stream. So nothing has changed from our last video, but obviously we have a lot of Zebec bulls in the chat, and they always ask and want me to look at Zebec. So that's what we're doing. So in our last video and on the weekly update videos, we have pointed out this downtrend and the fact that we broke out of this downtrend and area of resistance. The reason why I didn't redraw the chart yet is because we're waiting to see if we're coming back down and retesting this as support, this downtrend as support, and getting ready for the next move up. So bullish case scenario is that's exactly what's going on because it happened, and that's exactly what is in store for us and what we're waiting for. So we already came down and we retested this area, which was previously resistance, as support, while also tagging this downtrend as support. So you could theoretically still argue that the next target and the next move up and the next leg up is going to be 2045 followed by previous highs. And then obviously price discovery, breakout to the moon, 1 cent, 1.5 cents to 2 cents would be in play, which we'll take a look at that as the chart becomes valid at that in those areas. But please be careful on the downside. And the other side and the other perspective of that is, hey, this was some sort of top. We got rejected at resistance. We went a little bit higher, but it was a fake out. We got rejected. And then now we're going to be coming back down to the lows. So I hope that doesn't happen. And I hope this thing at least starts keeping this channel and this uptrend that we're in. And that would be the best case scenario. But again, worst case scenario, please be mindful of the this downtrend and then this previous area of resistance, which is now, you could argue, flip support, which probably is the 236,382, but yeah, close enough. It's 2027 to 31, but I'm not going to draw that. We'll just use this area because that was previous resistance anyway. So yeah, targets on the upside 2045 and 2028 on the downside. None of this is financial advice. It is just my opinion. I hope this thing goes up forever and has a strong reversal and a buy. And
so shout out to Crypto Meow, whatever this guy's name is. If I mispronounce it, I'm sorry. Just trying to see what he's talking about. What up, Silver Days? Thanks for joining. Peter OG, what up? Alfred, XTP is new kid on the block. I recommend ZBC and XTP. Just look at the stats. You'll be impressed by XTC's progress in the past 2 months. I did remember you mentioned that. I'm going to look into that, Alfred. Thanks for that. Coinbase XTP, pump token. We'll look at that though, anyways. And Flair, Kim's, what's going on with your fam? And moving on to the next quick.
I gotta give you guys a quick warning here. It's really good to know that every second that you're in a project, every second that you're holding a project is a second of risk, because it's the only time that the holders or whales or creators of a project can actually get your capital. That is when your money is in this project. That is when they can actually get your money. So we keep that in mind. We never buy and hold. I just want to get it out there because they're all projects like RaveDAO, and I see you guys lose money on this, and I don't want to see that again. So just don't buy and hold. Actively trade projects instead. That's how you actually extract capital and protect your capital. But if we then look at another opportunity here, another 20% move. So it's just a glorious, like trading within the golden daily domain. We can do some pretty nice longs and just avoid the shorts all along that like uptrend on the daily time frame. So for us, as long as we don't have a flip in trend here on the 4-hour time frame, we're just gonna chill. Once we have the flip on the 4-hour time frame and Bitcoin enters a silver domain on the 4-hour time frame, that is our on ramp. Then we need to really look at Zebec Network, because if this flips, Zebec Network flips. We're gonna look at it right here. You can see it's in a very strong uptrend. If we look at the 4-hour time frame, it's going to be in a very strong uptrend as well. But once this flips into a silver domain, if it flips in combination with Bitcoin, we're going to have a very glorious trade lining up on 2 time frames in sync. And then we just wait for the daily time frame sync as well. And you could be riding this project for a very far distance all the way down. We should be seeing a short position forming for over 50% gains. And the reason for why I'm excited for that is, once again, I don't care about the project. I don't care about the tech. I care about trading and extracting money from the market.
So shout out to Alex Domain Clips. And moving forward, this is who is this?
Hello guys, today I'm going to tell you about that
This
Zebec Network
is
token. Now before we start the video, let's share
Crypto
my legal
Finance.
disclaimer. This
Talking
video
about
is
the
only for
Zebec
educational
project
purpose. Do your own
real
research
quick.
for the investing. According to the white paper, Zebec Network ZBCN is a decentralized financial infrastructure protocol that enables real-time continuous streaming of payments and payroll, aiming to replace traditional batch transactions with seamless on-chain money flows, real-time payments rails. It provides infrastructure for salaries and payments to stream per second, improving cash flow for businesses and workers. Multi-utility governance token. The ZBCN token is used for governance, voting, paying payroll, products, fees, staking, and accessing premium ecosystem features. Institutional and regulatory integration. The network is built for compliance with key partnerships like NECHA for ACH network access and integrations with stablecoin like USDC and USD. One Zebec Network project institution rating is 4.4, and this project audited by Ceritech. Zebec Network token total supply is 99.99 billion, and circulating supply is also 99.99 billion. ZBCN token ZBCN token is listed on popular exchanges like like OKX, KuCoin, and other exchanges. If I say my opinion
out here. Hey friends, might be a little windy out here. Welcome to Stocks and Crypto Plays. Just take a quick look at ZBCN. It's pumping. It's up like 15% right now. And if you take a look at the price, it's 0.0035. That means it broke through a big resistance wall. It had a lot of trouble getting through 0.003. Now we're at 0.0035. We busted through that wall. So guys, if you remember not that long ago, maybe 8 months ago or so, might have been a year now, I'm not sure, time goes so fast. We were up at 0.0069, almost 0.007 in that range. That's going to be the next target that we have as we continue to move upward with ZBCN. The great thing about Zebec is that it's everything that we thought XRP was going to be, but wasn't. ZBCN is all of that and more. Hit like, subscribe, and notifications. Share the video with a friend. Comment below. Why are you bullish on ZBCN? I want to know what your thoughts on it. What's your price prediction within the next 12 months? What do you think about it all? What kind of information do you have? Comment below. I'm very excited about the coin. It's going to do big things. It could easily be $1 per coin. I mean, XRP is at $1.40, and they've got similar tokenomics, almost identical tokenomics. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.
Yeah. Who is that? Peter, I don't know what's going on. It's weird though. Some of the videos be super laggy and some of them don't be. But I think it comes down to the video, because I know before I got a desktop, when I was running on laptops, my videos were super laggy too. So it's probably just how they uploading it. But keeping it moving. Silver Day, smash the like and subscribe. Thank you, Silver, the hardest working man in crypto. What up, Cajun Crypto? Happy lunch, guys. Why is video lagging? Help the algorithm. Like and comment XRP ZBCN below. Each interaction help push the video to more people. Let's get trending. Thank you, Toshi. Toshi, you coming up? Second hardest working guy in crypto out here. Keeping it moving. Let's look at the bubbles real quick. So on the bubbles, not a lot going on today. Hash flow, I think this is hash flow. Hash flow is up 2.4%. Swarms is up 7%. Bitcoin SC is up 2.2. World mobile tokens up 1%. XPR is up 0.8. Nero's up 1.4. Ton's up 2.2. Arbitron's up 1.4. BGB's up 0.9. Lithium is up 11.4. Safe is up 0.4. POW is up 3.2. Litecoin's up 0.6. Radian's up 4.4. AIXBT's up 2.2. Canon Network is up 1.5 and XDC is up 1.1. So let me know what you guys think about that. Let's look at the heavy hitters real quick. The market movers, Bitcoin's at 75,918, down 0.1 on the day, 3.6 on the week, up 13.1 on the month, and down 19.6 on the year, and down 0.1 on the hour. Ethereum is 2,269, down 0.5 on the day, 0.3 on the hour, 5% down on the week, up 10.4 on the month, and up 26.9 on the year. And XRP is down 0.8 on the day, unchanged on the hour, down 5.7 on the week, up 1.8 on the month, and down 40.3 on the year to $1.36. And it is really weird that these guys are down the day before the XRP conference. It's almost like this is rigged, guys. This doesn't make any sense. And of course, our favorite payroll processor is down 8.6 on the day, 1.8 on the hour, 23.8 up on the week, 44.9, 4.8 up on the month, and up $153 on the year to 0033. I guess this is a sell. What is it? Sell the rumor, buy the news event. Is it sell the rumor? Buy the news. Buy the news, sell the rumor. Basically, they say that people buy in when there's stuff coming up, and when it happens, they sell. So it must be buy the rumor, sell the news. I don't know. I don't remember. But it looks like people are dumping. But I told you guys to be careful because the dump was coming. Like right before something happens, these guys buy it up and they dump at the last minute. And I'm also trying to see what is going on. Yeah, buy the rumor, sell the news. Thanks, Peter. So buy the rumor, sell the news. And I was trying to see what's going on with the Walmart thing, but I have not been able to confirm or deny that. So this is ZBCN is up to 102,970 holders. So probably going to get to 103 before the weekend. Currently 4 hours, we added 31, 12 hours, 63 for the day, 31. That's weird. How can we add 31 in 4 hours and 31 on the day? 3 days, 322 for the week, 100 or 1,568 for 2 weeks, 2,246, and for the month, 3,649. So it looks like as long as we're up 3,000 on the month, I really don't care about the other numbers, right? We're still good. I don't know what's going on with CoinGecko, but whatever. So for the market cap, should have got something to drink before us. Market cap is 2.5 trillion. 2.5 trillion, up 0.46%. CNC 20 is $100.54.19%, down 0.18%. Fear and greed index, we're moving back to fear. Not sure what's going on, but it's going down. Altcoin season, we're at 40, so we're still pulling away from Bitcoin dominance, pushing further to altcoins. Average crypto RSI is 45.95. On Zebec is down 8.9% today, down to 0.0035. Market cap, which is good. We're still at 300 million, 335.8 million. 24-hour trading volume is 12.6 million, up 3.6%. See what the latest and greatest is here. Honestly, I feel like we see the 0.10 within the year. That's a 10 billion market cap, naturally without any buybacks. Burns, once mass adoption hits, there's 100 million wallets with Zebec instead of 100K. Then we see dollars. I feel that, bro. What is this? Let them dump. I knew they were, as holders went down, they too scared. Yep. No longer are the diamond hands. What happened to diamond hands, folks? But I mean, it happens, bro. I'm not losing sleep over it. We knew it was going to happen. It happened. So now we have to deal. So this is we on the ground in Vegas, looking forward to connecting with partners and the community head of the XRP Las Vegas. Find us tomorrow on booth S2. Simon will be speaking in the main general session, stage A at 12 p.m. Pacific on April 30th. And if somebody can find a live stream, email me to Black Tiger Miner at gmail.com so we can catch that live stream and I can stream it with you guys for the event. I'm putting my email in the comments. Putting my email in the chat. Go ahead and shoot out the email if you find one so we can stay up to date. But keeping it pushing. XRP Vegas. Let me go back to the. So this is. Now, let's me say this right away. We're not doing fake Moonboy math today. We're doing news, context, price structure, support and resistance, community momentum, and what can happen if the market starts paying attention. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're holding ZBCN. Drop a 2 if you're watching from the sideline. Drop a 3 if you're here because somebody told you. Bro, you better look at Zebec before Vegas. Also, here's my ZBCN holders watching from today. City, state in the chat. Let's see how global the community is. Here's why today matters. XRP Vegas 2026 is listed as taking place April 30th, which is tomorrow, through May 1st. It is being branded as one of the largest XRP focused conferences in the world. This event centered around the expanding XRP ecosystem, payments, and crypto utility. That matters because Zebec Network is not just another meme floating through the timeline. Zebec is building around real-time payments, payroll cards, and what they call PayFi, payments and finance in motion. Zebec also posted publicly that they're heading to the XRP Vegas and said the event brings together one of the strongest payment communities in crypto, and that is important because Zebec's whole brand is payments, payroll, and real-world finance. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying XRP Vegas automatically means ZBCN is going to explode. This is how markets work. But I am saying this is when payment focus crypto projects enter the room full of payment focused crypto investors, speakers, builders, and communities. That is exactly the kind of attention window you watch. This is like bringing barbecue sauce to Texas. You better believe someone's going to ask, what's in a bottle? You best believe that for sure, bro. You show up with some bottles like, what is that, bro? What is it? What is it? But let me see. The Zebec SuperApp momentum. Now let's talk about the super app because this is one of the biggest searchable pieces of the story. Zebec's website describes the super app as Web3 native consumer finance management app that says it's now in early access. That means you need to be careful with the language. I'm just going to say every feature is fully launched everywhere until Zebec official says it. But the direction is clear. Zebec is pushing forward a consumer finance app experience. Zebec also has a blog post explaining how Zebec powers the super app ecosystem. That post says as the mobile version launches, ZBCN will support reward mechanisms, preferred pricing tiers, and enhance access to current features. This is the kind of language holders want to pay attention to because it connects the token to product usage. Now, let me translate that for crypto website language into regular people language. Zebec is trying to say we don't want ZBCN to sit in a wallet looking cute. We want it tied to app experience, features, rewards, and access. That's the difference between a token with a job and a token standing outside a Home Depot waiting for work. Now, here's the $1 million question. Will the market reward that? That depends on adoption, execution, product quality, clarity, exchange access volumes, and whether the community can keep the narrative alive. Drop app in the chat if you think the super app is the biggest ZBCN catalyst. Drop Vegas if you think the event hype is the biggest catalyst. And I'm probably going with Vegas, guys. I mean, the super app's cool, but we didn't get a real pump when the regular super app launched. So I don't think it's going to be a whole lot going on with this super app. So I'll pop a video. Actually, let me do this real quick. So let's talk about Vegas. Why does it matter for ZBCN especially? The XRP community is heavily built around payments, banks, cross-border transfers, settlements, and real-world utility. Zebec is also talking payments, payroll, cards, and real-world finance use. So even through Zebec and the XRP are different projects, the audience overlap makes sense. ZBCN publicly posted that is excited to be part of the XRP Las Vegas for the first time, and the event itself is centered around the XRP ecosystem that gives ZBCN a chance to be seen by people who already care about payments and rails. Now, this is where I want the chat to get involved. This is just a networking event, or is this the start of a bigger payment narrative for Zebec? Because in crypto, sometimes events are just events, but sometimes events are where narratives are born. Some coins go to conferences and come back with a tote bag. Other coins go to conferences and come back with a whole new wave of attention. We're trying to figure out which one Zebec is about to be. Type bag if you think this is just conference hype. Type wave if you think this could start a bigger ZBCN narrative. And I'm going with wave, bro. Zebec is about to be on fire. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. And got a couple things to prepare for, so we're going to videos. This is my main man, Crypto Star Rail. Let's see what he has to say.
To create a supply shop. But first off, guys, I've noticed a problem. I'm so close to 3,000 subs, and most of you watching the channel is not subscribed. So if you genuinely enjoy the content and I bring value to your investment, please subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Quick shout out to Zebec Nation. Go give them a follow. They are always helpful and supportive. And if you don't have a cold storage, guys, I can offer you a 10% discount on Tangent using the code word StarRail. Help yourself out and help my channel out for future videos. Anyway, why is ZBCN about to create a supply shop? Zebec says the primary utility of ZBCN is to settle fees required for employers to use its payroll and disbursement product. It also says institutional clients and employers using Zebec's payroll platform are required to pay service and product fees in ZBCN. They can either hold ZBCN directly, or they can hold stablecoins and have the platform automatically convert those balances into ZBCN. That is a very important mechanic because it means product usage itself can create ZBCN demand. So the first key point I want you to take away from this is that the ZBCN utility starts with the real product usage. If employers want to use Zebec's payroll and streaming rails, well, they need to use ZBCN to pay for that service fee. And that makes the service fee important for you holders. And Zebec's own tokenomics say that explicitly, that the service fee goes back to ZBCN. So you cannot do this with stablecoins alone. ZBCN needs to be continuously used for that transfer. So I'm going to use this as an example. World Liberty's USD1. So what would this look like if businesses want to use stablecoins like USD1? A good example is USD1 from World Liberty Financial. Zebec's Payroll Meets USD1 article explains that teams and institutions can run payroll in USD1 through the super app. The stablecoin is the value being streamed, but Zebec's model still ties the infrastructure and fee side back to ZBCN. So imagine a business wants to pay workers in USD1. That business funds the payroll. in USD1. The Zebec service layer still needs ZBCN for the fees. In simple terms, USD1 is the money being paid, while ZBCN powers the infrastructure around that payment. That's the key difference. Stablecoins do not replace ZBCN. They can actually increase the amount of activity moving through Zebec's system. If Zebec adds more stablecoins, more chains, and more payroll assets, that can bring more volume into the super app. And the more volume that comes into the Zebec super app, the more important the ZBCN fee layer becomes. So stablecoins like USD1 is not competing with ZBCN in this example. USD1 is the payment asset. ZBCN is tied to the service layer around that payment. If Zebec keeps adding more stablecoins for those payout routes, that can bring more volume and more users within the Zebec ecosystem. And the more payroll activity within that ecosystem gives the ZBCN flywheel something to work with. So here's a question for you. Once that usage starts creating revenue, how does that feed back into the ZBCN token? That brings us to the buyback and burn mechanism. This is one of the most important parts of ZBCN because it links the token into real product revenue. Zebec's tokenomics article says the buyback program was initiated with the launch of the Zebec card program and is linked to product revenues across payroll, cards, and parser contracts. Zebec's buyback post also says that in Q4 2024, after a DAO vote, Zebec bought back over 200 million ZBCN, worth around $250,000 to support the token's deflationary model. That matters because it turns product growth into something token holders can actually understand. Payroll brings more money in. Cards create spending activity. Spending activity can create revenue, and revenue can support buybacks. Zebec has also posted later buyback updates, including over 40 million ZBCN bought back in Q4 2025. Worth around $120,000, and 19 million ZBCN bought back in Q1 2026, worth around $60,000. So this is not just a one-time statement. Zebec has repeatedly tied buybacks to product revenue. So the ZBCN token buybacks all revolves around product revenue. That means more payroll and spending activity creates that revenue and goes back to the ZBCN token. 100 billion tokens, that can create a deflationary aspect. That is why product growth matters for ZBCN holders. More users, more volume equals more card sales that can relate to a bigger token buyback. So as I said earlier, 100% of the token supply is in circulation. So why does this become more interesting when that is fully distributed? Zebec's tokenomics article says the final scheduled unlock was set in March 2026, marking the conclusion of early stage token allocations and the transition into a more mature utility-driven phase. It also says that with the final token unlock completed, ZBCN will operate with no new supply entering the market, and that buyback can drive supply contraction. So if you're treating ZBCN as having 100 billion total supply fully in circulation, then the inflation narrative changes. The market is no longer focused on monthly unlocks or future emissions. The future shifts to token utility, staking, buybacks, and how much supply is actually available. That is where the supply shock thesis comes from. Now, I want to word this carefully. This does not guarantee price action, but it does create a cleaner setup. If no new supply is coming in and product usage grows at the same time, then demand can rise while available supply gets tighter through buyback and staking. That is the kind of setup investors pay attention to because it's much cleaner than a token still dealing with a heavy unlock pressure. So the supply setup here changes the token pressure. When the token unlock's finished, that changes the narrative from dilution to ZBCN token utility. And that makes investors think, how can Zebec tighten the supply further through buybacks, through card usage, through staking? That is where the supply shock thesis is coming from. So speaking about staking, how can staking add to that even further? Zebec says ZBCN holders may stake tokens to earn yield and deepen their participation in the network. It also says staking contributes to higher incentive tiers inside the super app, helping reduce fees and unlock additional features and rewards. The latest official milestone I could source is that Zebec says 10 billion ZBCN has been staked across 40,000 wallets, locking up 10% of the total supply. If you look at the super app dashboard now, it shows between 10 to 15 billion ZBCN staked. That's equal to around 10 to 15% of the total supply. 10 billion tokens staked is a serious amount of supply, not freely moving around the market. And staking also shows conviction. People are not just holding and hoping, they are locking into the ecosystem for yield, rewards, and better super app access. That reduces short-term selling pressure and strengthens alignment between holders and the product. So staking can increase the thesis in both ways. It can reduce the freely available supply and shows the holder conviction. If holders are staking billions of ZBCN, they are choosing to participate in the network rather than trade it. And when there's no new tokens entering the market from the token unlock, that becomes increasingly important here. So let's connect everything. I want to get all these pieces coming together. What does that look like? They come together inside the Super App. Zebec's main site describes the Super App as a Web3 native consumer financial management app where users can earn, spend, stake, and manage value. Zebec also says its ecosystem already has $500 million in annual payroll volume, 250 plus enterprise clients, 50,000 monthly users, and supports over 20 plus chains and 150 tokens. That matters here because the Super App is where all of that utility loop meets. Service fees create a reason for ZBCN to be used. Stablecoins like USD1 can bring payroll volume into the system. Card spending can create revenue. Revenue can support the buyback. Buybacks can reduce the supply. Staking can reduce available supply even further. Rewards and incentives can keep users engaged. And governance gives holders a role in shaping the ecosystem. This is also why all the integrations matter. Zebec plugging into ecosystems like Solana, Base, Stellar Network, and potentially the XRP ledger is not just about adding logos, it's about bringing more users, more assets, and more payment volume into the Super App. So this is what you holders should be watching. Not just the chart, not just the hype, the real product usage. How much payroll and payments flow through Zebec? How much card revenue grows, how much tokens are being bought back, how much tokens are being staked to tighten that supply even further, how many users come into the Super App through ecosystems like Solana, Base, Stellar Network, the XRP ledger. And if those numbers keep growing, then inevitably the deflationary side also increases. And that's where the supply shock thesis comes in. Not because of hype and not because of wishful thinking, but because the ZBCN token starts to become the financial asset of the engine that's Zebec is building.
So that was a great video from Star Rail. Shout out to Crypto Star Rail. This is a live stream. I might run the live stream. This is
what is going on, Coin Talkers? This is
video.
RBZs, and things are looking very, very exciting for Zebec. Not only is it pumping and is continuing to pump, we are getting very close to XRP Las Vegas, where we have our CEO Simon. He is going to be talking there, so we'll get more clarity on potential partnership for Zebec, including Stellar, XRP, and even more, which has obviously rippled into its effect into the price of Zebec, which is causing it to pump, and we are up over 50% on the month. But let's get into today's video. If we do a little recap on the market itself, as you know, it's not reflective of the price of Zebec. It's not doing the best, but of course Zebec is pumping. And if we take a look at this article right here about a potential partnership with Walmart, as we know, ZBCN and Dash have a partnership. So Dash is a digital cash designed to offer financial freedom to everyone. Payments are instant, easy, and secure with near zero fees. Now, if we look at AI, we see crypto spending to Dash. Cryptocurrency Dash can be used to purchase gift cards for Walmart and other retailers through platforms like coin cards. So this is a great article here that highlights a potential partnership with Walmart. And if Zebec was to get integrated into Walmart's payroll, that would be massive, because Walmart is a massive North American corporation that hires about, I think, 100,000 plus employees. I've been letting BGM Capital handle my crypto trading portfolio for a while now. This isn't just another bot. It's a full-scale AI-powered automated trading system. I've got over $20 sitting just from today's automated session. Total amount that I've earned while using this AI bot. That's over $8,400 in pure profit. Let's do a live withdrawal so you can see the speed for yourself. First, look at my personal wallet balance. Just type in your desired amount, hit request, and confirm. Literally 2 minutes later, the notification just popped up. This is instant. BGM Capital pays you out instantly. To be real, AI is already outperforming human traders. Now, I know what you're thinking. BGM Capital is a legally registered company trading in the United Kingdom. You can see their official certification right here on the homepage and verify yourself by clicking on the verify company button. The link to join this AI crypto trading bot is at the very top of the video description, and start your AI crypto trading journey today. Now, if those employees get paid through Zebec, the adoption of the technology fast forwards, and we have a massive player in hand. But let's check out what this partnership actually could entail. So ZBCN speculated prediction, Walmart plus Zebec, ZBCN real-time streaming payouts unlock the delivery and retail workforce for millions. Exactly what I just talked about. Walmart, the Fortune 1 giant with hundreds of thousands of active Spark delivery drivers plus over 1.6 million US hourly associates, looks primed to integrate Zebec for instant streaming payouts on every completed delivery or shift hour. The speculation is built on the exploding gig economy and hourly workforce demand for same-second pay. Walmart's existing weekly payouts via branch plus limited instant options through OnePay, still with fees or caps, and Zebec's production-ready PayFi rails that solve the exact cash flow pain drivers and associates complain about daily. Why it fits: Spark drivers and hourly associates live block to block or shift to shift. Gas, maintenance, rent, and daily bills don't wait for weekly deposits. Walmart currently relies on scheduled payouts or partial instant access, but it's still clunky and not truly real time. Zebec's continuous streaming payments will let them earn and withdraw by the second as deliveries complete or hours tick by, using stablecoins or multi-chain rails with near zero fees. So this is a win-win for both the corporation of Walmart as well as its employees. Meaning they can pay their bills, and in terms of budgeting, it just helps out tremendously. Now, win-win: Walmart boosts drivers and associates retention in a hyper-competitive labor market. Zebec becomes the invisible infrastructure powering real-time wages at massive scale. ZBCN captures utility and buybacks volume from every package delivered and every shift worked. Now, imagine if Walmart actually goes down this route and employees are getting paid by the instant, which ultimately does affect the morale of the employees as well. So now,
okay, I'm going to pause the video real quick. Just to confirm, I haven't verified this information, right? There's no concrete announcement, right? Zebec had not said anywhere that Walmart is going to actually partner with Zebec. So to confirm, right, because we keep it real here, there's no concrete information yet, right? I don't know if they're going to announce it in Vegas tomorrow or during the weekend, but this still is only speculation. I have not seen an official announcement yet. So just keep that in mind, and let's get back to the video.
if it boosted morale for employees are working better. And now you see competitors of Walmart, for example, like Costco, Target. Now these companies are gonna be like, hey, you know what? Walmart has just made a massive.
So again, this is allegedly, supposedly, right? Nobody has confirmed Walmart has partnered with Zebec. I mean, it's a good idea. It's possible, but they have not confirmed, right? We keep it real here. I'm not going to moonboy you or fudge you up or make up anything about any project. If I didn't see it and didn't confirm it, I'm not going to say I did, right? I'm not going to give you a false advertising or hope you up or hopium. I'm telling you what I see, right? One thing about the BTM Crypto News Network, we only tell you what we can confirm, bro. I'll let you listen to it and you can draw your own conclusion. But again, this is allegedly, supposedly speculation, bro. We have not confirmed or denied this is happening.
Integration. Now more employees are attracted to work for Walmart. They're getting better incentives. They're getting payroll by the minute, by the hour, by the day, and you know, they're just working even better. So now these companies, I guess, being competitive as they are in their corporations, would also want to integrate Zebec. So this could possibly be like a domino effect where one major corporation takes the adoption and then you have a bunch that follow suit. That could also be groundbreaking. Now, key indicators this happens: Walmart, Spark, and stores have hundreds of thousands of drivers plus 1.6 million associates globally with chronic cash flows issues tied directly to payout timing. Gig and hour data shows instant streaming payouts are now the top demand, especially among young workers. Walmart already offers branch weekly pay and limited one-pay instant options across Spark and associates, creating enormous daily transaction volume that screams for true streaming rails. Zebec proven white label streaming apps already live with stellar NatPay and enterprise payroll, show exactly how seamless an integration would be. Broader momentum, multi-chain expansion, and PayFi partnerships position Zebec as a go-to rail for any high-volume real-time payout partner. Why Zebec excels: true real-time streaming with sub-second settlement and fixed micro fees, perfect for thousands of micropayments per driver block or store shift. Absolutely amazing. Deflationary model now active with revenue buybacks. Scarcity tightens as delivery and payroll volume scales. Multi-chain plus stablecoin native. So we have Stellar, of course, partnership with Circle, with Dash, exactly what I talked about earlier. Seamless fit with Walmart's global logistics and compliance setup. Already generating real-time on-chain revenue from payroll and card fees, not theory, proven infrastructure ready for enterprise scale. Now, what does this timeline look like? So late 2026 to early 2027 could be the initial pilot discussion or small scale tests with select Spark markets or retail locations. That could be very, very exciting. 2027 beta rollout for a subset of drivers and associates with streaming payouts live. Guys, this is crazy how fast everything is moving. Walmart needs a modern, frictionless payment system to keep its massive workforce happy and competitive in the retail and delivery economy, and Zebec streaming tech is the obvious upgrade. Pure speculation, but the product market fits. It's too perfect to ignore it. If this lands in 2028, Zebec becomes the default rail for on-demand Walmart payouts at global scales. Let me know what you guys think about this post. Again, nothing here is financial advice, guys. We just love to dive into the possibilities of where this project
Dang, I'm really talking. Okay, so this is allegedly, supposedly, right? We have not confirmed. Again, BTM Crypto News will let you know if it is a sure thing or if it is confirmed. And I posted that, so that's why I wanted to play the video. So we don't have any actual confirmation about the Zebec partnering with Walmart. This is allegedly, supposedly, right? So if it is allegedly, supposedly, I will definitely let you know. So back to the BTM Crypto News Network. Check us out on X. Make sure you join in, like, share, and subscribe to stay current on news and events for a Zebec XRP. What is that? Zebec XRP Tau, Turbo Toad token, and a few other cryptos. So what makes Zebec interesting is execution. Web SuperApp is already live, 20 supported chains, 150 assets, real card usage, streaming payroll infrastructure. ZBCN sits in the middle of real activity flows. So that is the SuperApp. What is this? I guess this is I think this is the web version of the Super App. What? I'm not doing all that. Keep it moving back over to X. This is Zebec is quietly building what crypto has been missing for years, a usable financial hub, one place for payroll, cards, staking, multi-chain asset management with ZBCN woven into the network layer. That's the practical infrastructure. So shout out to the wolf of the web. There's a difference between token ecosystems and financial ecosystems. Zebec is building the second one. The more products connected through one layer, the more natural of a role ZBCN becomes. So shout out to ZBCN. The more we look at Zebec, the clearer the picture gets. This isn't just another crypto app. It's a full financial operating layer with payroll cards, staking, and cross-chain access already live. A lot of people, like a lot of projects, launch products, tokens. Zebec is building tokens around people can actually use. That matters. The difference matters, and it takes how ZBCN can scale over time. So shout out to a lot of you guys posting about the super app. And this is ZBCN Vegas. ZBCN Vegas, the 30th through the 1st. This is CKJ Boozilla posting about I heard more about XRP Vegas from ZBCN community than anyone else. That type of strength shouldn't be ignored. ZBCN Vegas takeover, and I wish I was going, but one, the weather's bad, and two, things are getting crazy, so I can't actually make it out there. But I'm definitely going to be for the next one. If they do it again next year, I'll be there front and center. Zebec Network is up 63% over the past month. ZBCN's gaining momentum. Zebec Network is up 63% of the month. Zebec is a decentralized infrastructure network focused on real world value flows, bringing blockchain into everyday payments, payroll, treasury operations, and financial services. And I'm not reading all that. You can come over to the ZBCN or the BTM Crypto News Network and read that if you want to. Just realized I need to make that a little bigger. Zebec SuperApp is now available on mobile in just 2 minutes. Connect my wallet, verify transactions instantly, and install the app. I have access to payroll cards and staking. Get now super app cards. So I need to low-key get the app actually. Wonder if you can get it from here. Might be in the app store. Anybody download the app? I'm gonna probably do a live stream about that tonight. ZBCN network page at CL. What the frick is CoinLore? Who is CoinLore? CoinLore Press News? Who the frick is CoinLore? Low key, I might need to set up a website, actually. But let's see. And this is just pull the trigger on the Zebec Black card. It's sent some time evaluating the card tiers inside the app, and the metal option isn't just about aesthetics, it's the proper tool for liquidity. So they got metal cards too. American Express has a metal card, which is actually pretty cool. Could a Zebec Ripple partnership be announced in Vegas? The missing pieces for streaming payroll. XRP Army. Hear this. XRPL already moves money and incredibly fast, but fast and streaming are not the same. That's why Zebec matters. I'm not reading that post either, but it's on the ZBCN. Shout out to ZBCN, man. It's on the BTM Crypto News Network. This is going to play this video. This is my Alpha Lion. And this actually looks like a video from who is that? Crypto Chrome. I gotta take that out because they ping us for freaking music that's on Twitter anyway, which is kind of weird. But I just want to get that. That's actually pretty awesome. I wonder if the strip actually looks like this. I'm joking, but it would be cool if Zebec was plastered all over the strip like that. And hold up, this ain't even Vegas. What the freak? This must be some kind of computer generated image, because that looks like Bellagio. But if it was Bellagio, it'd be on this side of the street, unless you're coming from the other way. But even then, the towers in Bellagio is not that big. So I don't know what this is. Maybe just the AI image. Dang it. Why did I do that? But I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna watch a video. We'll come back in a minute. This is close this guy out. Close this guy out. And close up as much as possible so we don't lag or get any lag. So I can stream the videos. We watched this video. So this is the Zebec Nation's video from 5 hours ago. We'll stream this guy. And we'll be back shortly.
The invisible thread running through every war, every empire, every revolution in human history. But today, right now, that story is being rewritten, not by kings, not by central bankers, not by Wall Street, but by open protocols, cryptographic math, and a global network that never sleeps. To understand where we are going, we first have to understand where it all began. Grain, clay, and the first ledger. Banking didn't begin with a building or a vault. It began with grain. In ancient Mesopotamia, around 3000 BC, the temples of Babylon and Ur acted as the world's first banks. Farmers deposited grain and cattle for safekeeping. Priests kept records on clay tablets. This was the world's first ledger. In Egypt, royal granaries functioned as state banks. Deposits were transferred between accounts without any physical grain moving at all. Sound familiar? And in ancient Greece and Rome, money changers sat at stone tables in the markets, exchanging currencies, lending at interest, and financing trade routes that stretched across 3 continents. The concept was already clear. Trust someone to hold your value, and that trust becomes the foundation of civilization. The Medici and the birth of credit. The Crusades created a problem no sword could solve. How do you move wealth across the continent safely? The Knights Templar invented one of the world's first international banking systems. A pilgrim could deposit gold in London and withdraw it in Jerusalem using a coded letter of credit. No gold had to travel, only information. Then came Florence. The Medici family built a banking empire with branches across Europe and invented the double entry bookkeeping system, a technology so powerful it financed the entire Renaissance. Their bills of exchange allowed merchants to transact across borders without carrying a single coin. Credit was being manufactured from trust and reputation alone. The world had discovered that money didn't have to be real to actually be real. The central bank era. In 1694, the Bank of England was founded, not to serve the people, but to finance a war. It issued banknotes backed by government debt, and the template for the modern central bank was set. And by 1913, the United States created the Federal Reserve, a private consortium of banks given the power to control the money supply of the most powerful nation on earth. And for decades, every dollar was backed by gold, stored at Fort Knox. Every bill represented a claim on a physical metal. And then came 1971. President Nixon ended the gold standard. The dollar and every major currency became fiat money, valuable because the government says so, and because we all agreed to believe. Money had evolved from grain to gold to paper to pure trust in an institution. But what happens when that trust breaks down? Enter the digital money and great collapse. The 1990s brought the internet, and banking went digital. ATMs on every corner, SWIFT wires moving billions across borders, credit cards universal. Wall Street took it further. Banks created financial instruments so complex, even their own executives didn't understand them. Mortgage-backed securities, CDOs, credit default swaps. Money, made from debt, made from nothing. And then in 2008, it all collapsed. Lehman Brothers fell. Governments bailed out the banks that had destroyed millions of lives. The system that promised stability had revealed its fundamental flaw. It required trusting powerful humans not to be greedy. And somewhere in the rubble of the financial crisis, someone was writing code. Enter Satoshi's white paper. October 31st, 2008. While governments were writing trillion-dollar bailout checks, an anonymous person or group called Satoshi Nakamoto published 9 pages that would change everything. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, no banks, no government, no trusted third parties, just math, cryptography, and a distributed ledger that anyone on earth could verify. Then Ethereum arrived and added programmability, smart contracts, code that executes automatically when conditions are met. No lawyers, notaries, no delays. DeFi, decentralized finance, emerged. Lending, borrowing, trading, earning yield, all happening on open protocols 24 hours a day, accessible to anyone with a smartphone. And for the first time in 5,000 years, you could participate in a global financial system without asking anyone's permission. The neobank revolution. Crypto proved the concept, but volatility held it back. Nobody wants to pay rent with an asset that swings 20% overnight. Enter stablecoins like USDC, USDT, PayPal's PYUSD. Dollar-pegged digital assets living on blockchains, combining fiat stability with crypto speed and programmability. Now money moves the way data moves, instantly, globally, 24/7, at near zero cost. And a new breed of financial institutions is being built on top of the infrastructure. Neobanks, not traditional banks with apps, but entirely new entities designed from the ground up for blockchain era. Lattice is building the next generation banking layer, combining stablecoin rails with compliant financial products, giving businesses and individuals access to programmable money that still operates inside regulatory frameworks. Facet is powering enterprise stablecoin operations, helping companies accept, hold, and move digital dollars at scale without friction. And at the center of their payment infrastructure sits one critical engine, Zebec Network. The stream is live. Every revolution in money has been about one thing: reducing friction between value and the person who needs it. Grain to coin, coin to paper, paper to digital, digital to stablecoin. And now for the first time in 5,000 years of financial history, we can stream money. Not send it, not batch it, stream it. The way Netflix streams video, continuous, real time, unstoppable. Zebec Network is that payment and payroll infrastructure engine at the center of this new world. Neobanks like Lattice and Facet plug directly into Zebec's streaming protocol, using it as their core payment layer to move stablecoins in real time on behalf of their users. Lattice brings the compliant banking interface. Facet powers enterprise stablecoin operations. Zebec connects them all to the worker, the contractor, the human being who did the work. Together, this ecosystem enables something that has never existed before: a full stack. From the enterprise treasury to individual wallet, where wages flow by the second, stablecoins settle instantly, and no person takes a cut of someone's paycheck. No waiting 2 weeks, no swift delays, no payroll processor skimming fees. Solana runs rails, stablecoins are the money, Lattice and Facet face the customer, Zebec is the engine. From the first clay tablet in Babylon to Lattice, Facet, and Zebec, money has always been about trust, speed, and access. And for the first time in history, all three arrive at the same moment for anyone on Earth. Let's go.
Turn it up. Zebec Nation. Zebec Nation, tap in, lock in. I'm on deck, all signal, no distortion. Hot news, breaking code, truth audited. From protocol to the population, compliance coordinated. Talk fast, think faster, headlines, detonate, builders, whales, insiders, resonate, no filler, no filter, no scripted fabrication. Real-time execution, verified information. Payroll to power, global circulation. Deep dives, lifelines, market calibration. Base, it's like Nation. Want the pulse? Get tuned in. Zebec Nation.
Welcome to the Zebec Nation podcast, your home for everything Zebec Network, ZBCN, crypto news, and whatever the hells we want to talk about. I'm your host, ZBCN Man. And before I get started, if this is your first time joining us, please subscribe to us, hit that like button, that notification bell, share this video with your friends. We have a whole catalog of videos you can also check out. And please comment below. All right, who's with me tonight? I got my host, Mr. Foresight's back in the house again. Crypto Star Rail from across the pond. Lantern, don't call him Throbbing, is back with us again as well. Zebec United. And our producer with the mostest, Zebec Samurai. What's going on, guys?
I'm excited.
I'm excited about this one because I'm about to introduce our crypto spotlight of the week. Paul Unterberg from Uphold, CPO from Uphold, is with us tonight. What's going on, Paul?
What's up, guys?
Yeah, what's up, Paul?
Yeah.
Pumped to be here. I've been following the podcast a lot, hanging out with you guys in Discord, and super excited to talk about everything crypto.
Man, we're so happy you're with us, man. We're so happy. Go ahead, man. You guys have something to say to him? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I love Uphold.
Me too, man.
Love Uphold. Really do.
I was telling Paul, I was like, I use Uphold for everything now. I just need to pay my mortgage through it, and it'd be great.
I need to do that. It's hard to jump from USAA, but man, I like.
I know the feeling.
I like it.
Hey, there's a lot of good banks out there. There's a lot of good companies to manage your finances. But if you use Uphold, super happy to have you guys.
Yeah, definitely. I've been telling the guys, Paul, I'm like, hey, this is how I do it. The moment I can pay my mortgage through Uphold, everything that I have is pretty much going into there because you get such great benefits from using them. Paul, again, thank you for joining us. We do things a little bit different here. We really like to focus on the people that come on this show, their background, what they're about, and then we delve into crypto as well. So I'd love to get started. The guys are going to ask you some questions. I'm going to start off. And I was just wondering, in the environment you grew up in, what led you to do what you do now? Was there something that happened early in your life that kind of led you to that, or did you just kind of fall into it?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I'm super lucky because when I was a young kid, we got a computer, and I knew then that that was going to be my future, that there is no other chance for me to work in any other kind of space. We had this PC, and I just loved playing with it. I loved trying to figure out how to work. I would take it apart, put it back together, taught myself how to program when I was a kid. And from then on, it was just, hey, I'm going to work with technology. So that was kind of my first inflection point in life. But then when you think about it, there's so many things with technology, right? Everything from you can be a programmer, you can be someone who's creating content. I'm really big into electronic music. So you could be a music producer. You could do all kinds of things like that. And I was really lucky to have another moment where I used to throw raves here in San Francisco. I would throw these parties, and I had one DJ come up to me. He's like, "Hey, will you pay me in Bitcoin?" This is 2011, and I was like, "What's Bitcoin? What is this thing?" So I looked into it. I was like, "Yeah, I could pay you in it." I bought 10 Bitcoin for $70 and sent it to him. That was his DJ fee. He is still a Bitcoin holder, by the way. He's doing much better and not playing these dingy underground parties that he used to throw. But once I saw Bitcoin, I was like, wow, this is pretty magical. It's really cool that you could transmit value instantly anywhere. And that part was really neat. I was working in fintech. I was working kind of at a software company by then. And I realized just how powerful it was to send money instantly. But then I started looking more into, okay, what did Satoshi actually solve, which was this computer science problem where you have a distributed system and you can now use a trustless consensus mechanism to make all of these other systems talk to each other. And once you unlock that, then it's super, super powerful because now you can really have truly decentralized applications. And from there, you go down the rabbit hole to the Ethereum, the Solana, the XRP, the Zebec, all of these different tokens and networks that are trying to solve problems and come together into this bigger ecosystem. So I have the best job in the world. I'm super psyched to be working in this industry. I got to see it forward. I got to see how it grew. And I'm really excited to share whatever alpha or experience I have with you guys.
That's amazing, man. I just want to follow up one more question. What does Paul do to decompress when he's not busy working or traveling back and forth for meetings?
Yeah. I do a lot of things. One, I love to just go out with my wife and my dog. I walk my dog every day. My wife joins us. We kind of just reset, touch grass, if you will. But I'm a pretty big computer nerd. I'll play video games. I'll make music still. I'll hang out and just work with AI and just play with AI, build things. I'm a pretty big nerd. I don't go out much other than to walk the dog.
Well, you're surrounded by a bunch of other big nerds too, so you're right here at home with us.
So what's your AI of choice right now?
Yeah, it really depends on what you're doing. I'm running Qwen 3.6 locally. So I've got a DGX Spark that's running, and that powers my little agent. My agent can talk to the Qwen local model, keeps it all within my perimeter. But then if I'm doing work at Uphold, we use Claude code like a lot. So build things with Claude, really use that. And then Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever it is, just to try to like try something different, to vibe code something with some other platform. There's so much power out there. Like, it really doesn't matter as long as you have an idea and you can make it work. You can use whatever model you want.
So are you basing your Qwen off of the Llama?
No, I actually run it on Llama CPP.
Okay.
So it's similar. Olama is like a version of Llama CPP, but I just run it a little closer to the hardware.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
I have a question. And I'm glad I'm about to ask you this question, as you seem like the perfect person to answer it. And when you touched my soul when you said the rave parties, because what people don't know about me is I love trance music and Armin van Buuren and all of those. I'm a big,
yes.
really. So I have tons of it. So my question to you, being that surprised me, tell me something else and tell us something about yourself that might surprise us.
Yeah. So, one, I also love trance. I was a trance DJ. My Twitter handle is Paul Wavelength. Wavelength was my DJ name. And like, I really, really feel for Armin van Buuren, Ferry Corsten, like all of that, Tiesto, that Euro trance. I just love that sound. Something that might surprise me, I don't know if it's going to be a surprise, but like, I was super, super shy and like super antisocial in high school. I was really goth. Like, I was super just like, oh no, I don't want to talk to people. Don't want to do anything about that. And now people meet me, they're like, oh, you're really down to earth. You're kind of not that far away. But I came out of my shell as I got older. I don't know how surprising that is, though.
No, I understand. I was the same way. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I too love the EDM scene. If you caught my oh yes reference there. Fun fact, if you see my handle, I have Beijing Boy for Life. There's a famous UK DJ whose heritage is from Barbados by the name of Carl Cox.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. So I wanted to ask you, and I ask everybody this on the show, what is your best advice for somebody who is just getting started in the crypto world?
Yeah, I think, look, there's so much to pick up in crypto. The first thing is learn as much as you can. And it really is hard to like sit there and pull things in, take your time to kind of read it, watch podcasts like this, watch all the content you can, but try to learn everything that you can before making a decision to jump in. There's so many resources that can help you, but that's the first thing. Just get a good sense, get a good solid ground, learn how to research, because that's really important to tell the signal from the noise. And then really once you've picked, hey, this is how you want to interact with crypto, whether that's running a staking node, whether that's just buying tokens, whether that's making your own crypto network, always just give back to the community, because it only works when you have an ecosystem, you have people working together and sharing information.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Hey, Starrail, did you have a question for him too?
This is probably Robin's question. Sorry, I wasn't meant to say that. I was just going to say, because you've been into crypto for so long, I've only been in for about 6-7 years, but you said you purchased Bitcoin in 2011. I wanted to ask a question of, where do you see this crypto space going to in like about 5 years' time?
Yeah, I mean, 5 years seems like forever from now, but I think it only becomes more and more integrated into the different technologies that we use today. I like to say that everything will be running on crypto, but you won't care and you won't know, in the same way that things run today on different internet protocols or different programming languages. And it doesn't really matter. It's just this is what makes it possible to do something faster, more efficiently, and cheaper. And it's just going to get more and more. I mean, every day, like a bank or a financial institutions or a social media company will come to us at Uphold and be like, hey, this is an idea we had. We wanted to use a blockchain for this, or we wanted to use this network to try to solve this other problem. And it's like, yeah, just try it and embed it, learn, adapt. Hopefully you're doing it in a more open source way so you can contribute what you've learned back into the community and someone can build on that. So I just think it's going to go more and more integrated into everything that we use. All of the technology we use will have some kind of crypto or blockchain element to it.
Hey, Lantern, did you have something? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is going to be a totally random question, but it's not about price talk, I swear. But since Solana actually publicly twice has acknowledged Variable Guy 123, I actually was wondering if you've ever heard of that before, like the whole concept of crypto companies similar to Ripple, Zebec Network, Stronghold being a part of some sort of conspiracy where if you just hold long term, you might make generational wealth.
Well, I think there's definitely a lot to that question. In general,
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. All good. I think in general, I don't believe that there are like conspiracies of, hey, this is going to be a generational opportunity just because of what coin is like associated with it. I think that in order for any crypto to have utility, that company needs to solve a problem, that blockchain needs to have users, people need to like work and use it in their technology. So that's going to be like what dictates what technologies win and what technologies lose, what blockchains grow and what blockchains stagnate. There's been a lot, thousands and thousands of tokens and chains and projects that just don't work, and they're trying something, which is awesome. But ultimately, once you've hit what's called product market fit, where you have people who are using your product, people who are building on that, and people who are like starting to see that technology grow. Zebec has a wallet now, their super app, right? It's starting to bring more and more of these users in for not just payroll, but to do other financial things with that token. Ripple, of course, has a huge number of different use cases that you can do with it, whether it's on-chain kind of just value exchange. That's how it started. But then there's DEXs, there's whole custody layers built on top of it. So as you start down the path for your tokens, you start to find how people are using it, you build on those use cases. And that's really what drives the utility. And I believe that utility then drives the value of the token. But I think the more important thing is find different projects that really fit what you want to do with them, how you want to use the technology, and maybe let you do something that you couldn't do as simply or as easily before, and go all in on those types of projects.
Thank you very much.
So, hey, Paul, so a lot of talk about Clarity. It's pretty much it's all the news right now as far as surrounding crypto. Do you believe that Clarity will make the difference as far as separating the winners from the losers, so to speak, when it comes to cryptos? Because there's, like you were just saying, there's thousands upon thousands of cryptos out there, but only a small number of them actually solve problems. So do you think Clarity really will get us to where we need to be?
I sure hope so, that it gets us closer, right? So for your listeners who may not know, in the US for a long time, there has been a lack of guidance from the federal government about how crypto tokens are regulated. Who makes the decisions? Are they regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, who typically regulate stocks and markets like that? Or are they regulated by the Commodities Future Trading Commission, the CFTC, who regulate futures and prediction markets? And there's been a tension between both of those organizations in the past on, hey, which one of us make the rules? And then you have all of the states, right? The US is unique in that each of the states also have a set of rules. So in this whole melting pot, you have, hey, I'm in California. Uphold is a business that's in California and in New York and in Europe. So who makes the rules? How do we harmonize against that? And the good news is that there's more and more traction on that rulemaking now. And so the Clarity Act is going through the US Congress. Hopefully it passes soon, but that will give a lot more guidelines to say, if your token behaves like this, or if your blockchain works like this, then your regulator should be the SEC. But if your token behaves another way, your blockchain works a different way, maybe it's the CFTC. And those rules will then create a lot more clarity for people to actually innovate. Because what the worst case is, you're excited about a project, you're a bunch of programmers, you're building something, and you launch it, and then you get sued by the government, who's like, hey, you can't do this, you don't have the right licenses to do this, or you said something that isn't the way that you can talk about it, so we're going to effectively sue you out of existence. And that's not a good place for any technology company or any project to be in. You really want to know, hey, what are the lines? What are the guardrails? So yeah, I do think the Clarity Act will help. And I think it will make it clear what you need to do, who you need to register with, how you need to register, and what you can and can't say about your different crypto projects.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something we're all waiting for, and we'll see what happens, hopefully in the next couple of months.
I have a question along the lines of what ZBCN man was talking about. You've been in crypto a while. You've been in a long time, since back in 2011. So with that, you've seen a bunch of ebbs and flows throughout. Has there been one moment from then until now that caught you off guard, that surprised you with where we are right now with crypto?
Yeah, definitely. There's been actually plenty of moments, and I was early, relatively speaking, right? But at the time, it didn't feel like that. It felt like, hey, I started mining Bitcoin, and it was like producing things. My GPU was running all the time, and I was like, oh, great, this is really cool. But then the price of Bitcoin started to go up, and at that point, I was like, oh, I better sell this, because there's no precedent for something like this, right? So you see all the time people who were early in something, they kind of sold too early, and in hindsight, yeah, I sold my Bitcoin way early, but nobody really knew that it was going to be this big. And it hit me 2 years ago. I was at a conference called Token 2049 in Singapore. And it was this giant conference center. There were like multiple floors and multiple halls with all these speakers, and everyone from crypto people to like F1 drivers and other types of celebrities. And I just remember being in a pizza parlor in San Francisco with like 6 other guys talking about this Bitcoin thing. And you're like, oh yeah, how does this technology work? Or what is this wallet that you're using? Or set up a mining pool. The types of things that we were talking about super early on. And it was really just a few people there. Now to have this giant conference all about crypto, and you have countries sending representatives to like understand what's going on. It just hits you how quickly technology can move and how big the space had grown, from just that small couple of people together to this huge whole world, it seems, talking about this.
Thank you.
I got a question. So as a CPO, like, what exactly, for the people who are watching, like, what's your like day-to-day, like, what do you do for Uphold specifically?
Yeah. It's funny because I've been a product manager, which is chief product officer is my title, and I oversee the product and design departments. But a lot of people are like, what is a product manager, or what does it do? And it's a very specialized role in software companies, and more companies now are starting to get it. But it's the idea of like a general contractor. So my job, or a product manager's job, I should say, is to define the problems that a customer wants to solve and the limits around how you solve those problems. So I might say, hey, let's just make it up. I want to build a way to stake a certain cryptocurrency. And in order to stake the cryptocurrency, I need to follow the rules of the network. I need to make sure that the private keys are secure, and I need to make sure that users can withdraw based on the unbonding period. So just as an example. From there, you write up a document that describes how all of that works. Maybe you put in some wireframes or some images that say, this is what it should look like to the user. This is what they should see. This is how they should feel. And then you can turn that over to an engineering team, as well as like in regulated spaces, legal, compliance, customer service also, to get everyone's buy-in so that you have this idea of, we want to solve this problem, but everyone can then come in and say, okay, you have to think about this, you have to worry about that. So it's very much like a coordination, like if you're building a house or something like that, you have all of these people, and you're not the one who's doing the roofing or the electrical, but you're the one who is making sure that they all understand what the vision is and where it all comes together. So that's a product manager. So now, as a chief product officer, my job is a few things. One, I need to make sure that the product management team is empowered to actually do what they need to do to solve these problems. So a lot of that is just running interference. I call it providing air cover, right? You're going to have something come in. You might have a lawyer wants to answer a question about how this thing works because they're going to file a new license application. You might need to talk to the finance team who wants to understand how this new product is going to make money. And so help them put together a model. So you can run that interference. You can take all of that ambiguity and help create clarity for the team who's actually then building the thing, and make sure that they have the feedback, make sure that all of that is actually syncing with everyone. And then the second thing that I do is really, I work across the company. So Uphold has a number of different product lines. We have product lines for consumers, things like ZBCN Man was saying, hey, I want to be able to eventually pay my bills or pay my mortgage to the platform. And we have our debit card, we have our direct deposit. So we have that consumer lens. But then we also have a lot of institutional and B2B products where a business like an exchange or a brokerage or another crypto project might come to us and say, hey, we are going to build something. We would like either to run it on your infrastructure, run it on your nodes and your your support for different blockchains, or maybe we're trying to do something and we wonder if you have an API that can help us do that. So a lot of it is just coordinating between the platform and the infrastructure that we build, and then the products that we build on top of that infrastructure that people interact with daily, whether that's something coming like, maybe you can pay your bills in the future on the platform, or we just launched instant or auto invest, we call it. So you get your paycheck in Uphold, and you can automatically take that and invest in whatever percentages of different coins or high yield savings that you want. So your paycheck comes in, you might say, hey, I'm going to devote 50% of my paycheck to USDC, and then the rest I'm going to put into Zebec and XRP, and the last 25% I'm going to put into a high yield savings account. So it lets you get paid and then instantly just move that money into the different assets that you feel like. So that's the type of really cool product, but you then need to understand, okay, what do the terms and conditions say? How do you run tests to make sure it's working? How does all of this come together for the customers when they can see it and feel it? And what happens if there's an error? What does it look like if, for whatever reason, like part of your crypto purchase failed? What messages do you see? A lot of coordination around that. And I'm helping to facilitate that cross company and cross our products. And then mainly day to day, I'm in meetings. Like I'm just in meetings just about all day.
Me personally, I love direct depositing because I get paid early. That's one of the perks of it too. I get paid early through Uphold by putting in part of my paycheck into Uphold. Kind of piggybacking off of the product line, and I'll let someone else ask a question. But not long ago, you launched a credit card on Uphold that you can actually borrow on. Could you tell us more about that and the viewers?
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. So we call it InstaCredit. It's built on a decentralized protocol, and we're working with a protocol called Exactly in order to do this. So the way it works is that you can pledge your crypto as collateral within the Uphold system. So let's say that you have USDC or Bitcoin, and you want to use that to set your credit limit. You can go into the app and you can say, I'm going to put $500 of Bitcoin into the protocol. And you get a Visa credit card that you can then use in the real world and spend based on that credit limit. Now, every time you use that credit card, what it does is it takes out a microloan. Basically, whatever you're spending, let's say you go out there and you buy a new TV. I don't know, you spend $200 on that new TV. You can then break that into up to 8 payments. So your $200 is going to be like, okay, I'm going to pay $20 a month, or whatever the math works out to, maybe like $50 a month over the next few months. And we let you pay that back using your direct deposit, using your fiat, or using other currencies without having to sell your crypto. So your crypto is sitting in this pool. It can continue to move with the market. If it gains value, it gains value. If it loses value, you have to be careful, because you can't lose too much value. Otherwise, you'll have to add more to the protocol. But if you really believe in your crypto and you don't want to sell it, but you want day-to-day liquidity, you can use this product for it. And lots more coming in that vein. The power of what DeFi can do on financial service rails, super, super, super exciting. So today for instance, with XA, you can do Bitcoin, USDC, and Ethereum. At XRP Vegas, we're going to announce the next asset you can use. You can guess what that will be. I don't want to steal my thunder.
At XRP Las Vegas?
At XRP Las Vegas, we will be announcing another asset you can use. And it's just a way that crypto is the great equalizer, right? Because if you think about someone like Jeff Bezos doesn't spend money by selling his Amazon stock. He basically borrows against that and takes out a loan, and the Amazon stock, moves up or down, but he is spending that money that he's basically borrowed against those shares. The Exactly protocol lets you do that exact same thing, right? So it's very cool, very powerful if you want to spend money without having to sell your crypto, and you have a source to repay it. Because if you don't have money coming in to repay it, then you do have to spend digital assets to do that.
Yeah, I had a chance to check it out a little bit. It's been pretty cool. Go ahead, Mr. Forsyth.
No, I was just saying, since you're on this is going to clear up a lot for me, and I'm sure everyone else too. Is Uphold considered a crypto exchange, or what is it?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And at the heart of Uphold is actually a high frequency trading system. So when you buy from Uphold, it's very different than when you're going out and doing a market order in a different true exchange. You are actually buying from Uphold, and when you sell your crypto, you're selling to Uphold. So we are the counterparty to every trade. In that way, it's not like a exchange like you might think about, where you see an order book and you see a maker and a taker. It doesn't work in that way. But Uphold, I say we have a high frequency trading system because we don't try to pick winners or losers in crypto. That's kind of a one. It's not our role, and two, it's very hard to do. So we have a system that will go out and say, okay, we have a set of inventory for certain tokens, and then we have either long or short exposure based on how much customers are buying that we have to refill. And so we go out to market across different centralized and decentralized exchanges to make sure that we can fulfill the liquidity that we see as people start to enter and exit the market. But at no time is there any IOUs or any pretend money. You always have your crypto that you buy is delegated into the wallet and titled to you, ready for you to trade on. You're just buying or selling from us, and then we're going out to the market to pick up that float from other venues.
I've always wondered. Thank you so much. I hear it both ways.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we've talked about this a few times, and I've been like, you own your crypto. When you purchase your crypto through Uphold, you own your crypto. It's not like a lot of these other exchanges.
Yeah, that's right. And you can always, move it to self-custody. We have both support for any of your normal wallets, your ledgers, your Tangent cards, things like that. Or if you want, you have the Vault within Uphold, which is what we call a self-custodial wallet that we have assisted recovery with. One of the scary parts about having your own keys is that, hey, if I lose my keys, you lose your money, basically. And with the Vault product, what we let you do is we actually generate 3 keys. It's called a multi-signature, a 2 of 3 multi-signature wallet. So you hold 2 keys. One is tied to your Uphold account and one is tied to your device. And then we have a third key that doesn't actually let us move money. It's not enough to do anything with the crypto, but it lets us regenerate a lost key. So the only person who can move the crypto is the customer in their Vault. And they can say, I want to send it to the exchange to sell, or I want to send it to a different wallet or send it to a different address. But we can, in case you ever lose your keys, we can regenerate that key for you.
Back to direct deposits. Earlier, or I guess later last year, you guys did the rewards for it. A certain percent XRP, certain percent Zebec, certain percent World Mobile. Why those 3 in particular? What kind of message was Uphold trying to send?
Yeah, we like to test things. So I'm a big proponent of trying to see what is out there, what could work for the community. And that was kind of a test that we did, partnering with Zebec, partnering with World Mobile. It really just happened to be, hey, they were willing to take part in the test. They thought that they could move their goals forward by partnering with us, get a little bit more marketing, get a little bit more buzz. It just so happens that they were the people who wanted to do that. Wasn't anything special or wasn't any message tied to it. Now, we've been very consistent about XRP. So Uphold has a huge number of XRP holders. We were the only US exchange that didn't delist XRP during the SEC lawsuit. And really our lawyers were like, hey, it's a lawsuit, and until there's some kind of decision, you don't even know if there's any law being broken here. So we waited. It turned out there was no law being broken. And that's why we have so much XRP. And so we want to do things that give users opportunities to earn more XRP.
Yeah, that's a great benefit to holders and the people that use the service like daily, like myself.
I mean, Uphold's really positioning themselves to be like gigantic. They got a ton of XRP. They're the treasury for Zebec. I mean, like, they got a lot. You guys got a lot going on.
We do, right? It's fun. Uphold's been around for 11 years. And I like to say it's one of the best kept secrets in crypto. We've never really spent a lot of money on marketing. We've never really tried to play that game of, hey, we're going to go big. We're going to have a Super Bowl commercial. But we've really focused on building solid infrastructure and making it so that even in the most dire market conditions, you can trade on Uphold, because we have these different decentralized and centralized exchanges behind us powering it. If one of our exchange partners go down, we can route to a different exchange partner and make sure we can still fulfill volume. That's not to say that there's never any problems. Any tech company will have issues, but we try really hard to build really reliable infrastructure and custody solutions for crypto.
Yeah. I trust you guys. I trust Uphold. I always have. And I think the biggest question I have is your selection process. Is it rigid, or, because I noticed you guys don't have everything on your site. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, it is pretty rigid actually on what tokens we will list and what tokens we won't list. So one, we tried to be early to list other tokens. I think we were one of the first ones to list Zebec, right? And that the approach that we take is, hey, let's see where a project is starting to have some buzz. Let's see where a project is starting to maybe solve an innovative problem that you don't see a lot of projects working in. And we'll figure out, okay, what is this project all about? How are people trading it? How are people using it? And who is the team behind it? The worst case is we list a rug, right? Because nobody wants that. Nobody wants to risk our licenses and our credibility to enrich someone else at the expense of our users. So we do have a pretty rigorous process where we look at what are the economics of a token, what are the tokenomics, who is the team behind it, where else can you trade on it, are we able to potentially source enough liquidity if this thing does start to take off? And we've had tokens that we've listed go up like 200-300% the first day that we've listed them. And we need to make sure that we can fulfill all of those buy orders. So we really take it seriously when we list tokens, but also we delist tokens a lot, right? That's the counterpart is, hey, sometimes the way that a token portrays itself or the way that a token starts to be used is different than what they were originally intending, or maybe they stopped being used. Maybe they're getting delisted in other places. There's not a lot of traffic, and then we'll go and we'll say, hey, this no longer meets our criteria, so we will have to delist tokens also. But in order to do that, we give the users lots of heads up. We let users know what's going on. Usually by that time, the people who are really watching the tokens and following their portfolio will understand, hey, this thing is not really doing what I thought it was going to do. Or maybe there's some kind of other issue where there's technology failed. Maybe there is some kind of hack or something and the project is shutting down. So we will give the users lots of heads up before delisting something. We'll let them know what they can and can't do and how they can ultimately convert their positions into something else.
Thank you tons for that. Thank you so much.
Go ahead, guys. Lantern.
Is there? I've heard the same rumor for the past 8 months, and I'm wondering if there's any truth to it about Uphold's app ever transforming into the super app for Zebec.
I don't think we will ever become Zebec SuperApp. I do think that what we'll try to do is add more and more features that are going to be like a super app. So if you think about a super app, the concept is really there's one app that you use that lets you do everything, whether it's shopping, whether it's chatting with your friends, whether it's investing or managing all of your financial services. And this has been a big kind of goal for a lot of companies. Many apps in China actually do this really well and are super apps in their own right. But very few apps in the US or in the EU even have that kind of super app following. There's a lot of fragmentation there. And a lot of people are trying to do it. I used to work at PayPal. I know that PayPal would have loved to have Venmo be a super app. And I think they're still trying to make Venmo like a super app. I know that Cash App tries to be a super app too. So lots of super apps coming to play. I think ultimately Uphold will continue to add more and more valuable features that help users do things that they couldn't already do with their money, manage their money better. And then as we partner with other ecosystems, other projects, we might add those capabilities into our system.
Yeah, so you're getting some of Zebec's capabilities for your own app, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about the way that we've integrated is we're not purists with any one blockchain, right? So if there's something that you can do on one chain, Zebec right now runs on Solana. So if there's something you can do on Solana, we can do that through Uphold because we're tied into that. But if there's something you could do on Ethereum or something you could do on the XRPL, we let you move between tokens on those different networks. And you can do a lot of really cool things with that. But we're probably not going to become Zebec SuperApp, although I think that lots of competition in the space, lots of opportunity too, right? I think the way that people manage their money has fundamentally changed. And I know that like my mom will be totally cool to go into a bank and wait in line and spend time to like get a few dollars out of her account. And I'm like, Mom, why do you have to do that? Like, you could do all of this now instantly on your phone or through technology. And then I see like my nieces and nephews, like they're a lot younger. They don't even think about, hey, wait a minute, is this online or not? They just want to like do everything digitally and instantly. We're in a really cool spot where we're going to see the people be able to do whatever they can imagine through their devices using apps like ours.
So Uphold doesn't just partner with anybody. I'm sure you guys do lots of checks before publicly partnering. How is your guys' Zebec partnership? Was it smooth? Did you like the team? Did you enjoy working with them? Were you involved with any of that?
Yeah. So we partner with people in different capacities across the different business lines that we have. And I know that, for instance, when we did the direct deposit promo, right, we were partnering through the consumer Uphold app with the Zebec team. They were really responsive as we worked with them. They helped us understand, hey, these are some of the mechanics. These are the ways that the blockchain works, and these are the ways that you should think about it as users are onboarding. They also partner with our institutional services side and things like treasury management operations. So those guys have a completely different experience working with them than I do from the consumer side. I know one thing that comes up in the Zebec Nation Discord all the time is, hey, how can we do staking with Zebec through Uphold staking program? And Zebec staking works a little bit differently than, say, Solana staking or Ethereum staking. And so, as we were investigating what could happen, we were able to message the team, send an email to the team, and kind of get their internal documents, kind of look it over and be like, okay, this is what makes it unique. These are some of the things that we would have to solve or figure out the way that the staking program works. So having that access, having that ability to have them come through and talk about, hey, this is what we do or don't do, I think that is super, super valuable. And certainly it's been a strong community. I think more than even the team behind it, the community support has just been overwhelming. And podcasts like this, groups that really want to use the technologies that these different chains offer. That's what makes Uphold special, and that's really what we look at is what is the community sentiment around these different projects, because that's ultimately what drives adoption. Adoption drives utility.
That's right. Starrail, did you have a question for him?
With the way I look at things, like you've heard maybe like the DTCC wants to tokenize US treasuries on the blockchain rails, and like there's a name out there, I don't know if you're familiar, Nadine Charker, she's like one of the head of the DTCC, and she goes, there's not going to be one blockchain that can dominate 100 trillion of US treasuries onto blockchain rails. My question is, what type of blockchains do you think will be like the leaders in this crypto space? Because you've got like, Base Network doing about like 17 trillion of stablecoin volume. You've got like, Ripple XRP getting like G Treasury, Hidden Road, and all these institutional partnerships. You've got like Solana as well, with like Western Union. Is there like, say, for example, like, is there like a top 5 blockchains that you think are that going to dominate the whole space?
I don't know about dominate the whole space, but I do think that chains are carving out their niches on what users that they support, or what use cases do they really have a lot of support behind. And ultimately, this just goes with businesses don't like uncertainty. So if you're a business and you're looking to do something on a blockchain, you're not going to want to be the first person to do it or the first business to do that. Now, maybe a few of them will, but most of the time, you're going to be like, okay, who else is tokenizing this asset on this chain? Or who else is solving a similar type of problem? And what chain are they using? I know when I was at PayPal, we were building PYUSD, the PayPal stablecoin. And one of the questions I got all the time is, hey, what chain should we launch this on? Should we launch it on Solana? Should we launch it on Ethereum? And we built it really for Solana. Like we built it because Solana has a lot of speed, it has a lot of scalability, it can settle very quickly, and it had a lot of really interesting primitives in their token program. So their token program can let you do all kinds of really cool things like confidential transactions that are really important to having actual businesses and actual commerce on a chain. But Solana wasn't enough because we know that there's still users who want to do things on Ethereum. So we also added Ethereum support. And since then, PayPal has added Stellar support to the token as well, and Arbitrum and different blockchains, because different companies, different builders, different projects need different things. So yes, there will be a few dominant chains in that a lot of interactions happen. You named them, right? The Ethereum, Solana, some of the layer twos, the bases, the optimisms, the arbitrums of the world. They're powering a lot of these different experiences. And then you have other chains that might be like the XRPL, which have very, very fast finality time and very, very clear ways to interact with different nodes on the network, but maybe are missing some of the things like native borrowing and lending pools, for instance, that are coming soon, hopefully with XRP Amendment 66. More to come on that, but I think you'll see a lot of these big chains have a lot of the usage, and then you'll have smaller chains that have really bespoke things. There's a chain called Canton, for instance, that is not quite as decentralized as some of these other chains, but is using a lot of financial services data. And then you might have chains that are running, Robinhood forked Arbitrum to run their exchange. They're kind of on-chain things. You have Stripe coming out with Tempo. Tempo is a new layer one that's very similar to Ethereum, but it's all about payments and kind of payment use cases. So you will see a lot of volume go to these big chains, but you'll constantly see new chains coming out, new innovation happening. There is no one chain to solve all of the problems, but a lot of people are wanting to find a chain that works for them. And the easiest thing to do is be like, okay, if everyone else is using this chain for this thing, maybe I'll use it too.
We've been preaching this interoperability. We've been saying it every single week, but we can't say it enough. Interoperability is the key to all this. Hey, we maybe, just saying maybe, may see Zebec Network on the Interledger protocol. Who knows? I don't know. That would be cool, though. Devin, did you have a question?
I was thinking of one, and then as I was thinking of them, they kept on getting asked as we were going.
It's taking.
No, I was going to ask along the lines of, when you're selecting cryptos that you are going to list on Upholds, what is your vetting process like for them?
Yeah, so it is important to look at a few key things, right? So one is, what are the tokenomics like? How is this token being distributed? How was it distributed? How are new tokens generated? Is it inflationary, deflationary? That kind of sets the tone for, okay, is there even enough demand, or can there be enough demand for this to meet our users? And our users hold billions of dollars worth of crypto. They trade billions of dollars a year on the platform, and so you can't have just like a tiny project with low liquidity or low float. The next thing we look at is the team. Who is this team? Are they a bunch of people who don't want to reveal their identity? Why don't they want to reveal their identity? Or is there like a company? Is there something behind it? I won't say that if you're an anonymous team, you won't get listed. It just makes it much harder for us to do the type of due diligence and to make sure that we're checking all the boxes, because Uphold is heavily regulated, right? We have to sit in front of different states who have exams and are like, why did you list this token? Or show us the documentation that you went through when you made the decision to list something like a Zebec, right? What made you feel comfortable that was something worthwhile to give to your users? And one of the feedback things we hear a lot is, oh, I wish you would list this meme coin. And it would be cool to list a lot of tokens, but some of them you just have no idea, one, who the team behind is, two, what the tokenomics are, and three, is there really even a liquid market out there? Is there liquidity out there to be able to trade this? Because you see these pump fund scams all the time, and you're like, no, I don't want to put that in front of users. I don't want to ruin our credibility by vouching for something that might not be in the best interest of what those customers want, or solving a real problem that we think is actually out there.
Do you believe? Oh,
I was just gonna say real quick. It seems like Uphold's probably the most consumer-friendly exchange out there on the market, and I started out with Coinbase, and I was like, man, I can't even navigate this. Half of it doesn't even make sense. And then, I got out of crypto for a while. And then my coworker was like, join Uphold. You actually keep your crypto, like it's your crypto that you buy. And I got on.
So shout out to the Zebec Nation. And I guess this guy's name is Samurai. He is 100% correct. Coinbase is hard to work with. And I've heard a lot of bad things about Coinbase. I've heard initially, allegedly, supposedly, right? I don't want to get sued, but I hear these guys were taking people's crypto. Since you don't own the keys, right? People were losing their crypto. So I don't know. Take it how you want it, right? I don't want to fudge you guys into anything or out anything, but I know one thing. If you don't own the keys, you don't own the crypto. So buying it on exchanges and so forth, when you get it, take it off the exchange, guys. Don't leave it on there, because things can happen. Per se, if there was a massive price pump for a Zebec, these guys would lock the exchanges where you couldn't get it out, right? Once they start losing money, they're going to lock the exchange. And the same thing for the opposite. If it dumped major, these guys are going to lock it like they did on Robinhood. I don't know if some of you guys are new to crypto, but if you've been around for a minute, when Elon went on, I guess that was Saturday Night Live or whatever it was, and the price dumped, they locked it, and you couldn't get it off the exchange, right? If you had it on exchange, you were stuck, because they wouldn't let you get it off the exchange. So shout out to Crypto Queen. And what up? What up, Toshi? Peter, app. Once Super App comes out, it'll blow up. Crow is here. What up, Crow? What's up with your fam? Alfred, Uphold is great, but the fees, you ain't lying, bro. You are not lying. I was looking at that the other day, especially for small crypto, right? If you're buying small crypto, right, you're paying $2 or $3 per transaction fee, which is a couple of pieces of crypto. Although Uphold's faster and safer, they don't keep any scam coins or anything that's not legit or any other BS. I see ZBNC content. I click OK. What up, self-awareness? I'm not sure if that's supposed to be ZBCN or not, but welcome to the family, brother. Thanks for joining. Self-awareness. Ooh, 368. Interesting. 369, I mean. Interesting. We know about that 369. But either way, thanks for subscribing. That was such a gangster move to defy the SEC and keep XRP on your website. Definitely. Solana, hold. You never delist XRP. For that, we are eternally grateful. That's what I call loyalty. Thanks, Cornelius. And 2021 on SNL. Definitely, sir. SNL and freaking Dogecoin. Robinhood freaking froze the exchange, bro. I was there. You can't tell me nothing. I was there, and I had bought a lot of Dodge. I thought it was going to pump, and it started dumping, and these guys would not let you get it off the exchange. So I'm not sure what happened or if they were involved in it, but it was kind of weird. They couldn't get it off the exchange. So here's the final word. ZBCN has real attention window right now. XRP Vegas starts tomorrow. Zebec has publicly connected itself to the event, and the super app and mobile utility story is gaining attention. The chart is sitting in the volatility zone where a clean breakout could bring more traders in, but the levels matter. I'm watching the 0032, a key support area, the 0034 and the 00350 as the middle reclaimed zone, and the 0037 as the breakout area from today's range. Above that, the market starts watching the 004 as the psychological level. My bullish checklist is simple: hold, support, break resistance with volume, and get strong official event or product momentum from Zebec. My constant checklist is also simple. In the event becomes sell the news, if Zebec loses support, or if the market-wide crypto mood turns red, do not be shocked by volatility. So ZBCN family, that is you guys. Here's the question. Is this just 24-hour hype window, or is this the beginning of a bigger PayFi narrative for Zebec Network? Smash the like button, subscribe, and share the stream with another ZBCN holder, and comment below. Is ZBCN going to $4? Oh, sorry, I'm tripping. 004 this weekend, yes or no? $4 would be awesome, but if it went to $4, that would cause massive panic, guys. Massive panic. I was in that boat. I got it off at a later date, but man, I didn't get what I could have got out of it if I would have got out earlier. But thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate you. I love you guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for hanging in there with your main man, BTM. We had some up and downs, network problems, computer problems, laptop problems, camera problems. But you guys been hanging in there with your main man, BTM, and the BTM Crypto News Network. So thanks for your support. And as always, let's get back to the money, guys, and stay dangerous. Miners out.